Hello
that's fair.
and welcome. We were just discussing who should do the recap, and considering that two of our players weren't here last time, we were thinking that it should be one of them to see if they've actually listened to the show. But I'm not going to be that cruel, at least not this time. Much to their relief.
Thank you. Thank you. You are so kind.
So, yes,
I'll
welcome.
think that for a bit.
Welcome to tonight's episode of Dice and Destiny, where we have with us a full crew, ready, willing, and, well, eager to anticipate what's going to happen in tonight's session. And on that subject of anticipating what's happening in tonight's session, we have one announcement to make, where you will find that we now have our Instagram channel up and running. At the moment, it's just a duplication of Blue Sky, but you will also find very soon that certain members of our team here that are artists will be granted access to post related artwork.
Whoa.
Yay!
Let me introduce tonight's recap. Last we left off, the five of you, torn from the familiar comforts of Earth and now absent for what you can only deem to be 2 days, awaken not in a land of your own, but in a world of impossible magic and unraveling stories. Guided by the enigmatic Elizabeth, tailor, traveller, and keeper of certain truths that she's dropped to you all, your journey began upon a rough road where you were invited into the carriage for a cost. That cost was the use of the design and pattern of your clothing that you are wearing, where Elizabeth saw utility in some of it. As your journey began in the carriage and glimpsing out, you could see the countryside, unfamiliar but yet very vibrant. People around, cautious or farming, going about their daily business, whatever the case may be, but very much alive and well. And the whispers of certain shadows still lingering, but I do apologise, but barely spoken about. Elizabeth's words as she welcomed you into her tailor shop were riddled with metaphors speaking of threads of fate and destinies not yet chosen that bind you together in a tapestry you do not yet understand. Though doubt gnawed at the edges of some of your minds, the calming balm of magic soothing your disbelief temporarily. Or in one case, increasing it somewhat. But all of you, slowly, some slower than others, beginning to accept that you are in a new world that isn't of your own. Ironstead is a coastal town, and upon your arrival, you find that people are rebuilding their lives here in the markets. Some of the homes that are tied around. There is a joyful buzz in the air, bunting across some of the market streets, but ultimately, it doesn't feel unwelcoming for the most part. Although a few people, if they've seen you in your clothing, may have given you some odd looks. However, Elizabeth led you into the sanctuary of her tailor shop, where fabric and fate intertwined, offering you rest after the long road. And now, as dawn's light begins to filter through the heavy set curtains, and you can hear the hum of thread and needle stirring in the air as the smells of certain spice and all sorts of wonderful goodies being cut, like fabric being cut. Sorry, I couldn't find my words for a moment. You can hear the fabrics being cut with the snip, snip, snip of the fabric scissors and the pulling of twine and thread upon various bits of cloth as she's beginning her work in the shop. But it is here where two of you on the ground floor begin to wake after a very restful sleep amongst cushions. Chris and Aspen, where the pair of you crashed out the night before, tired from your journey so far. You are the first to wake, and you can smell familiar but slightly spiced smell of coffee in the air. As you wake from this lovely bed of pillows and cushions that you toppled over from the stack the night before to make yourselves comfortable.
So, Chris, Chris is just going to just let out just like this groggy kind of groan, as it just kind of tumble pretty much onto the floor. Um,
Thunk.
and and they would be like, I need that coffee. And then they're just kind of slowly rolling. They're almost kind of tumbling around in like a small area, just eventually making it so they're sitting up and just very slowly, like they're extremely groggy. They haven't even rubbed their eyes yet to get the sleep out. To just slowly stand up, where they finally just rub their eyes and just like, I need something to drink.
Well, good morning. You sleep so deeply. I did not wish to disturb you to offer you a more comfortable bedding upstairs. We met briefly, and I introduced myself, but clearly you were exhausted from your journey. May I...
Uh,
Can you remind me once again of your name?
yeah, sorry, it's Chris.
Chris. Welcome to my humble tailor shop once more. My name's Elizabeth, just in case you yourself may have forgotten. I have here... Oh, it looks like your friend is stirring as well.
Yeah, I'm awake. I think Aspen probably has like blankets over her head as well. But she's sort of awake. She's just buried a little bit. She'll like pull it away and then sit up and actually be, I don't know, I was gonna say presentable, but I don't think anyone can really be presentable in this sense, so she's
Just
there.
woke up like-
Mm. Well, I have various forms of breakfast meats and bread and meats. Or I have tea and I have wake nut juice, if you desire. Oh,
What?
that's right. Hang on. You weren't here when that conversation happened. Um, Let me correct that so that you can understand it as a translation from your common language and our common language seems to miss certain vocabulary. This is coffee. However, the translation here, as we discovered, is wake nut juice. Either way, I have a selection of teas and coffee, and bread and meats for breakfast if you choose. Please pull up a seat.
Sounds incredible, thank you. I desperately need a coffee.
And
Uh,
she starts pouring you a cup of coffee.
incredible.
And for you, ma'am?
Yeah, coffee and bread and meat and whatever else sounds good.
Mm. It does sound like, as she listens carefully, it does sound like someone upstairs is stirring. I can hear the floorboards creaking. But yes, do forgive me and feel free to help yourselves to the selections whilst I just finish this order for one of my clients who will be arriving in about 25 minutes or so. Yes, so do forgive me. It's not that I'm not interested in your activities or who you are or anything like that. I am. I do have a business to run, so I apologise. And
Chris just
she,
waved their hand, and it's just like, it's absolutely fine. Do what you need to do. It's just endlessly nice of you to even just let us sleep here. So cheers for that.
you're welcome. And she disappears out the back, grabs a fresh pole which has several spools of different types of cotton on it, and brings it in and puts it on the counter into what looks to be some very precisely cut holes specifically for this. Slots it in, pulls on one of the threads, threads a needle, and starts stitching away with remarkable speed and skill. That creaking of the floorboards upstairs is one of you in one of the rooms waking up.
Good.
A confirmed person or anyone random?
Any rando here could be waking up. I don't know. One of you is. I'm trying to get the party back together downstairs.
They
Jess
naturally
will.
wake up really early, so
hmm
she's probably doing something at this point rather than coming downstairs. So if someone else wants to go, they can go.
Jess
If not,
will come downstairs.
Fair enough. Jess, you start heading downstairs, but what is Aurora doing?
well, honestly, she's probably like trying on all of the clothes she stole last night. Well, not stole, got last night.
Fair enough.
Trying to figure out what outfit fits the vibe.
Fair enough. That's probably what she heard, to be fair. Maybe your creaking on the floorboards was you trying on different outfits, something along those lines. But nevertheless, you all are stirring and waking. Jess, as you head downstairs, you can smell the coffee.
Yeah, she's not a fan of coffee, so she's going to go straight for the tea.
Mm.
And probably some bread and butter as well. But she's not a morning person, so she probably won't really acknowledge anyone till she's drunk her cuppa.
Fair.
But she'll take in the surroundings at the same time and see who's down there and what's going on and what Elizabeth is doing.
Pretty much what I've described. She's stitching away.
Yep.
Chris is pretty much sat at the table, just head almost just practically down on the table, just occasionally sipping the coffee, trying to wake up the wolves.
Jess will quietly join you at the table, give you just a nod of acknowledgement, because obviously she's trying to wake up too.
Mm. And what of Chris? No, what of Steve? Sorry.
Yeah, at this point, Steve's also waking up. His long hair a bit of a mess because, well, he hasn't washed it in quite a bit. And he tries on the new clothes Elizabeth has gotten him.
Mm-hmm. It's
And he...
perfect fit.
Go ahead.
It's a perfect fit, by the way. It's almost
Wow.
as though it's been a proper, like, it's the sort of quality of cut that you would expect from a tailor's in London.
I'm not from London, though.
No,
No.
but you're aware
Steve's
of the
from...
quality.
Yeah, Steve's from Newcastle.
Steve from Newcastle?
Yeah?
Steve's a Geordie?
You know it.
This changes everything. Oh god. I need to make fun of your accent more.
God, let's be fair, I can't do a Newcastle accent.
Why I need to make fun of it? Newcastle accents are terrible.
Exactly.
No
Right.
offense.
Eventually,
But yeah.
yes. Well, eventually you all make your way down, and you're all sitting around the table, or the workbenches, eating and drinking and slowly waking up. Elizabeth finishes her work that she was working on just as the doorbell chimes above the shop door, with a little tingling of a bell as the door opens, and you see a rather heavy-set man dwarf step in. Right. Here you got some garments for me mended. How you doing, Elizabeth? And you all look up as this... Well, how would you describe Brock?
Brock!
Brock is a pretty broad with a very long beard tied in a knot,
Mm-hmm.
and a small ponytail, and a bit of a scar around that's visible from his collarbone.
Mm-hmm.
And he mostly has soot on his face.
Aye, well... And as he says that, he sort of stretches and arches his back a little bit and twists his neck, and you all hear a crack that naturally comes from his joints as he oh, that's a lot better. Got that crick out my neck. Elizabeth, my friend, how goes ye with with my garments? Did you get them mended? And Elizabeth looks up and holds up what she had been mending. Yes, I did, thank you. Aye, well, and he looks around. I don't think I'll be keeping you long. It looks like you got guests. But what do I owe you? Well, that'll be 2 silver, please. And he puts 2 silver. Not a problem. You up for a drink tonight, lass? I think after last week I'm still recovering. Perhaps I can give it a miss tonight. Would you mind? I know we normally go for a drink every week, but it'd be nice to have a hopefully quiet night in. Right, I gotcha. Just to let you know, I've got more needles ready for you. The 3 leatherworking needles and the 2 very fine. I tell you what, I have never crafted a needle as fine as that in my life. Anyway, I got those ready for you. They're at the shop. I forgot to pack them this morning. Because I'm an idiot sometimes like that, but not a problem. I'll bring them to you tomorrow. Is that good? Yes, very. And she looks over at the party, looks back at Brock. It wouldn't surprise me if there are a few visitors later. Not today, but down the line. And he looks over at you all. Right. Very well. I'll keep that in mind. And he turns around, takes the garment, which, from what you can see, is like an extra thick, padded, almost like an arm brace type thing. And she was putting like what appears to be extra padding on the inside of it. He puts it on his arm. Yeah, I think that'll do nicely for whilst I'm working with the iron. See you tomorrow. And he walks out the door.
So, Elizabeth, who was that guy?
That's his name's Brock. He's
Quite
Yes?
That's quite a clever name, actually. I wonder who made that up.
Well, I believe that would have been his parents.
I mean, fair.
Don't know much about them family, I'm afraid, but he is very useful in a pinch when you need any ironwork done. Very practical is how I would describe him. He's also one of the founders of the Azure Watch. But that's history that you can dive into in your own time. As for
Yeah.
today, well, that was my only client, but I do have some other orders I need to prepare, so I'm not going to be able to guide you all day today, but I can offer you some help and hints, or if you prefer, you could discover the town alone. But before you do, and she looks over at she looks over at Aspen and Chris. You two might want to change into some fresh garments from my shop. Don't worry, no cost.
What about me? Are my garments fine then? Because everyone else has been offered garments.
I offered you some last night.
No, you didn't offer me. You offered the other two. But it was busy, I understand.
No, it was an open invite to all of you.
Oh,
So you're more than welcome to pick some off the shelves and off of the. Well, I prefer you didn't pull them off the mannequins. But they are. Have a look around and tell me if there's anything you wish, and you can change upstairs or in private if you wish. And she scurries off out the back of the shop briefly. What are you doing?
I want to look for something that's like black with like a black cowl, since as well, to kind of hide myself slightly. So like black kind of fitted garments, so sort of like what skinny jeans would be in the world we come from, but the current world alternative.
You don't really find much in the way of black. There's a couple of black tops, but nothing sort of for the trousers. It's more sort of mottled browns and and greens.
What's the darkest colour possible? Anything grey?
Not really, no. The only black things that you can see is like it's not quite a blouse, but it's not quite a shirt. It's not quite a blouse, but it's sort of similar-ish to one, as it were. But it's corseted, corset lace up the front rather than buttons.
Jess will probably go for that then. Like the corseted kind of sleeve top and some dark. Are there any like dark brown fitted kind of trousers?
There are dark brown fitted trousers. It's lighter than you would have liked, though. It's more like the same colour as the wood floor that you're.
She'll take what she can get. She's not going to kind of rock the boat, even though internally she's not happy about it.
Fair enough. As for yourself, Chris and Aspen?
Chris would honestly just grab things that would just look pretty just practical.
Mm.
Um,
I mean, you looking out the window, peeking through where the curtains are currently closed. You see that a lot of the market traders and that are out on the streets at the moment, and a lot of people seem to be wearing like baggy pantaloons, as it were, of varying browns and occasionally a couple of blues, some greens. It seems to be the current trend of clothing for for the bottom half. For the tops and things, it tends to be more like your typical tunics and things like that for most common folk here. But there are one or two that have fairly fancy sort of clothing, but they tend to be standing a bit further back from the crowds and looking around a bit more, as though they own something there rather than they are there to shop. Although it's quite clear that that's what they're there for. And
Okay.
you can find all of this sort of stuff in this tailor shop without any issue.
Yeah, they would probably just grab, honestly, whatever is closest, either just a pair of just like simple just breeches or a skirt even, because both can be very practical, in probably like a darker brown, and then either something that's kind of like a maroon, like a just a shirt that's kind of like a maroon color, or a green. Again, probably just whichever's closest and whichever is made from kind of like, probably a bit of like either brushed cotton or just plain linen will be fine for them.
Yeah, and you find it with relative ease, like a maroon coloured top and the trousers, pantaloons, whatever they're called these days. You find them relatively easy.
They would probably grab trousers and a skirt, to be honest, depending on the situation, depending on the day.
Fair. Absolutely fair. And Aspen, what sort of style of clothing would you be looking for?
I think I'm probably going for something as close to my normal outfit as possible, so like a comfortable top, and then shorts preferably, but if there aren't any shorts, then trousers. But she's gonna 100% check for pockets and check how deep those pockets are, because she doesn't want like women's jeans pockets where you can fit like a pound coin in them and nothing else. She wants pockets, like actual pockets.
And surprisingly, you find quite a few garments here that are very comfortable, that look natural, that are sort of tunics / blouse, but there's even a sleeveless variant of one of the tops that you find. And as you look around for sort of shorts or trousers, you don't really find shorts, but you do find some clothing that's close enough to be shorts, as it were. And as you're checking them out, you check the pockets, and you're actually surprised that for what is quite clearly a woman's garment, a lot of the clothing here seems to be very practical indeed, with some of the clothes and dresses and skirts and things designed to have a fold that is then tied almost like a belt to create those pockets.
Mm.
It's almost as though it's been designed to do that. And then with other more less flowy clothing that's available, you find that pockets have been built into them, and they are to an extent. Judging by how deep your hand went in, you could probably fit a rolling pin in there quite happily, and it would bulk out a little bit, but it would not affect the look of the clothing that much.
Oh, yeah, I don't think I'd want to go. She definitely wouldn't want a skirt, but anything that's got 2 legs and pockets, I think she's fine with.
Yeah. What colours?
Mm, it's probably going to be like a brown, just whatever she can find. She doesn't really do colours very much, so like a white or cream or whatever the like natural shade of whatever the fabric is top, and then darker trousers. I like the sound of the sleeveless top, so I think I'm going to take the sleeveless one.
Fair enough. Donning your clothing and putting your current clothing aside in one of the rooms upstairs, Elizabeth comes shuffling out with 3 large sheets of linen, 3 large trays of linen stacked one on top of the other, and she puts it down on the side. Oh my, you look absolutely marvellous. And I think that's a very good choice for the majority of you. As she looks over and sees Lou. Lou's character, Aurora, sorry. Aurora, what are you wearing today?
Me check. All right. So Aura comes bumbling down the stairs in, I think, these sage green baggy trousers
Mm-hmm.
that go up into essentially a jumpsuit. They kind of like, it kind of continues up so that it covers part of her top half.
Yes.
And she's then wearing a tan brown blouse underneath. She has layered it with a few utility belts that she found around.
Mm-hmm.
And has on her regular boots.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, do you have anything like a hood or a cowl that I can wear with this?
Yes, of course, of course. Third shelf on the right over there. And you should find one that matches the colour perfectly.
Thank you. Jess will go and grab one and kind of put it over this sort of, so it's like a hood, but obviously she'll still have like her front of her hair kind of visible. So it's sort of like similar to, I don't know how to describe it, like an assassin or kind of roguelike, that kind of thing.
Yeah, fair enough. As she's looking over all of you, she gives you all a nod and puts her hand out on the counter and says, "Well, I'm glad that my hospitality has been well received. Where would you be most interested in visiting today? I have various options that are available that I can suggest, or would you just like to venture out and see what happens and where you go, where the wind may take you?"
She got a few things that I need to get. So I've been, as of now, currently, slinging my spells around wildly. And I think it would help if I get, something to like focus this energy that I somehow have into something.
So you would be looking for, well, at the moment, the market's just starting to rebuild itself, so there's not too much available in terms of magic items or artifacts or things there, but there is one magic shop that's down in the artisans' quarters, which could be of use. And she pulls out a quill, a pot of ink, and a piece of parchment, and she begins to draw a very rough map of how to get to the Artisans Guild in the Artisan District here in Ironstead.
Trying not to laugh, like she's like biting down a laugh.
Roll. Are you trying to hide it?
Yeah, like she doesn't want to. She thinks this is ridiculous.
Can I make an insight check?
You can indeed, but I was going to ask, as you're trying to hide it, do you want to roll a deception check?
I will quickly. Goodness. I'm struggling to find the link I'm supposed to go to.
Just roll a d20.
Yeah? Like a dice?
Yeah. That's what we're playing D&D for. Come on.
I thought it was Dice and Destiny, actually, that we're playing.
That's still D&D.
It's still D&D.
That is a 14 on the dice.
14 on dice. Your deception is a +1. So 15 total. She catches it. But she's...
Can I also...
she's not
Can I make it...
She's not letting on. You can if you wish.
Insight, I assume?
It would be, yes, in this case.
Yep.
But
I have a +4 to this.
You do. She is not letting on that she caught you biting down as you laughed, but she hands the parchment over to
a
Steve.
20 not nat.
Yeah, you see it too. Clearly.
If there's something you want to say, just say it.
She bursts out laughing.
There we go.
What's so funny, dear?
She has her hands on her knees and tears almost rolling down her face.
It's an inside joke, don't worry.
All I did was...
Then why don't I get it?
Jess will shoot Steve a look and like raise an eyebrow. I would like to find...
How hard are you going to play this game? This is getting ridiculous.
Oh dear.
Magic? You need something to focus your magic? Oh, come on! This is ridiculous!
Well, I can clearly see someone still is in utter disbelief. But...
You are all so ridiculous right now. I can't even...
Well, why don't you check how much gold you have upon your person? Because I promise you're going to need it.
Don't carry any gold. Is there like a place that I go to like swap currencies for this world? Like that there's normally that at like grand fairs, like at the entrance gate.
We are very familiar with Ren fairs, but they tend to be more of knights jousting on the streets during festivals and various really, really old traditions like dancing around maypoles and things like this. It's not. And as she's saying this, certain words that are coming through sound almost forced, like you're hearing the correct words, but it doesn't match the lip movement in those moments, like maypole, for example. But yeah,
Just double checking. Do you have Ren fairs? In Ren fairs? That's like Twinception or something, right?
this is
Renception?
not a Ren fair. This is life. But I will let you discover your.
Right, yes. No, of course. It is life. My apologies.
Well,
Don't let me get in the way.
let me use a common phrase of this shop. Every stitch and every knot binds us closer to the pattern we cannot yet see. I would bear those words well, my dear, because one day you'll realise how true they are.
Can you put that quote in the chat, please, DM?
I can indeed. Every stitch and every knot binds us closer to the pattern we cannot yet see.
Thank you.
But my advice would be go visit the town and see what has been mended and what yet is still frayed. Enjoy your day.
You really like the tailor puns, don't you?
Oh, well, it is my job, and how do they say in your world when someone pulls a practical joke on a new person?
I actually can't remember.
Elizabeth, is there anywhere I could go to get like knives or kind of daggers? Because at the moment I've still got my friend's kind of chef's knife, and I think he wants it back.
Ah, yes. Well, that gentleman that came in earlier, Brock, his name was.
Rock.
He and his, dare I say it, better half. They are both artificers and blacksmiths and could probably assist in the forging of some small daggers for you, if you so
Perfect.
choose.
Yes, please.
Well, you'll have to visit him.
I will do.
And may I bid you a good day, as she waves you out of the tailor shop. Politely.
Albion is looking at Brock, sniggering like a child. This,
Brock's
30-year-old woman, I think.
Brock's
No.
long gone.
Not Brock. Steve.
Steve,
Different
right.
person.
Wrong character.
Wrong character, same player. God damn. Gets confusing, guys. I'm trying.
How do you This is good, guys. I'm having so much fun.
Yeah, no, a 30-year-old woman. Well,
Mhm.
29. Close enough.
Yep.
So, where should we go first?
Well, I'm going to head for the blacksmiths so I can give you your knife back if I can get some daggers made.
Yeah, I'm going to try and
yeah.
find this artisans guild.
Yeah, I
Do you
guess
think
I'll
it's
be-
wise us splitting up?
I mean,
Not
I'm the one with a
yeah.
map.
Well, I'd be
Yeah, I'm
happy to
like-
tag along if you tag along with me afterwards.
Yeah, of course.
Cool.
Chris?
Yeah, I feel like if we split up, then we may not find our way back. So I yeah, stick with the one who has the map, and then I think heading to the Artisans Guild area is good first as a first stop, and then maybe they said markets, so maybe market.
Well,
I mean, as we go,
yeah, you're in the market district now.
But yeah,
I mean, as we go along, we can always ask for directions.
yeah.
So I'd say go for the place where we know where to go first and see from there.
The people that we're asking are staff and not just other goers, because they won't know as well. You know,
I
Yeah. Fair
get
enough.
what you mean. I'm just not trying to split up everyone or make decisions for you guys.
Well, as you step out into the street, you find yourselves on one of the more bustling market areas in the market district here, and it greets you with a blend of resilience, sense of recovering, where some of the stalls are still half empty or not quite yet rebuilt, but traders are spread throughout, and you can hear the hustle and bustle of on the market streets themselves, from the vendors that are shouting for their wares to sell their wares, to the cries and screeches of the people as they're walking up and down the street looking at all the various goods that are on sale. The stalls are mostly made of wood with like cloth coverings, and the streets themselves are cobbled and pulse with a sort of tentative amount of life, as it were. There are rows of wooden stalls that are draped and patched with canvas and linen awnings. Merchants hawking their wares, baskets of dried fruits, rough woven cloth, tools scavenged and repaired. Butcher sharpening his knife beside a barrel of salted pork, while a spice seller just slightly further down is grinding the herbs, and the scent cutting through the sea breeze that you can smell. The air filled with the mix of voices, of cautious bartering, some laughter here and there, and the occasional heated haggle. The sound of hammers echo nearby where buildings are being repaired. Many of the townsfolk here are wearing simple clothes that are hastily repaired, patchwork. Some are well dressed, but most of them fairly common in their trend of clothing. Faded but functional. Faces lined not only with age but of fatigue of survival, and children weaving between the stalls, some carrying baskets, and a couple of children chasing stray dogs around here and there as you walk through the market area. There are empty stalls that stand shuttered and closed, owners having lost or fled, lost a stall or fled from during the recent occupation of a certain criminal organisation that you were told about, the Crimson Cloak Syndicate. Scraps of cloth occasionally littering the surface of the stalls that are abandoned, and the remainder of the merchants here, a lot of them have a tendency to eye newcomers with suspicion, especially yourselves as you are walking through. For what reason? You'll have to wait to find out and do some research. But yeah, they're eyeing you with a little bit of suspicion and caution as you're walking through. And there's one stand as you get towards the end of the market district here that has a young child standing behind it, you notice. And it's filled with odds and ends and bits and bobs and a couple of shiny silver pieces, like jewellery, like bracelets or necklaces, but nothing fancy. She seems a little odd. She seems a little young to be running a stall. But other than that, seems like your typical sort of market.
Nice.
Are you carrying on, following the map?
I'm following Steve.
Yeah,
Or-
Steve is reading the map, trying to figure out where he needs to go.
Okay. As the map itself was relatively well drawn, all things considered, it's not hard to find your way through the various twists and turns of Ironstead and the market district. Eventually, you come upon a long riverbank that is mentioned, and as you are walking along this riverbank that splits Ironstead not quite in half, but close enough, you walk past a rather regal building. It's been done up and recently repaired. There's statues out the front. There's a couple of boats moored up nearby. And you can see what appears to be a division of maybe 6, 7 young individuals out in the courtyard area, and someone in front of them giving them drill orders. Attention! You hear the loud cry come from across the riverbank. As you look up, you see all of these young recruits coming to attention, not quite in unison, but close enough. And you watch as you continue walking, following the map you were given. You watch as they're marched around the square, around this fountain area, following drill orders that have been barked out by what you would assume to be a commanding officer of some kind. The building itself looks quite nice. Unfortunately, I only have the rundown version of this on my maps, which is from the previous campaign. But for those that are here, you can see that it's actually quite picturesque. And you see emblazoned across the front and on two signs at the front of the bridge the fleur de lis, as you would recognise it, in an azure blue background with a gold fleur de lis emblazoned on it.
I believe that we have found the scouts.
One
Wait.
could have seen this, yes.
Why do I see lightning?
What? Lightning?
What? Lightning?
I will explain in chat.
Yeah, please do, because that's confused me. Okay, looks like some of you can't actually open the map for some reason. Not a problem. We'll just carry on regardless. But this isn't your destination. However, it's a very, very pretty building. Okay. It is a very, very pretty building that that you are walking past. There's like rocks and trees, and you're walking on quite a green part of the town as you're going past it as well, and you can clearly see that it is quite well respected by the locals and kept clear, except by those that need something from there. But you continue walking, and trees lining this path in particular lead you down more towards the dock area, but according to your map, there is a sharp right turn coming up. And
The map.
it seems to lead you towards where there's some thick black smoke coming out of one of the chimneys. I would like all of you to roll a perception check for me.
Perception.
What number is that?
For Aura, who doesn't seem to have the link, your perception is a plus something. Plus 4.
That was
I got
terrible.
13.
9 total.
Yeah, I roll a 10.
22!
Nice. So for those that have
Sorry,
rolled...
everything's lagging for me at the moment.
Oof. Well, for those that have rolled over a 13, you see that the black smoke is interspersed with white smoke, and then it suddenly stops briefly. Oh, Chris, that's a good roll. And then it sort of stops briefly, and then it starts up again. And you're thinking, oof, you can hear the clanging as you're approaching that area as well, of like metal on metal being hammered out. You can hear things like you can hear a few horses whinnying as you walk past one of the ironmongers down here, who seems to be tapping horseshoes onto the hooves of these fine steeds. But the road turns from cobble to dirt, mostly layered over the stones, as you realise that a lot of it seems to be soot from years and decades of industry and ironmongery and blacksmithing and that sort of thing. Has quite clearly this area. There's a reason it's called the Artisans Guild, and it seems to be where there's a lot of settled artisans, whether it's art, whether it's ironmongery, or other trades of a finer depiction. But it isn't too long before you find yourself maybe another half hour walking, but you find yourself, and I have not uploaded it. I am an idiot. Oops. But you find yourself
Like that.
you find yourself at the Artisans Guild, and it is a sight to behold. In one corner of the guild, you find that there is quite a pretty church, chapel, as it were. And there we go. Let's bring you all here. You find that there is a chapel in one corner of this little square where various sort of buildings, there's a tavern, quite clear by the signs that you're seeing. That you can see that there is a what appears to be dried meats and a few fresh hogs, that sort of thing, hanging in the window. And it is there's like fresh smell of bacon and pork being cooked. Just a little bit further on, you can smell the scent of what appears to be like bread, fresh baked bread as well. But your map leads you to a fountain and a square where you can quite clearly hear the clanging of metal on metal, and you see these big, thick-set, heavy doors in front of you. The parchments led you quite well to where you needed to go, and as you look up, you see that there are a couple of guards nearby, and this giant, mechanical looking thing marching around the fountain in a patrolling pattern. So, with that being said, what are you doing?
So now that we found this artisan's guild, should we go look for my stuff first, or do you want? What do you guys want?
I think
Do you really want
you're
anything?
you're like the main one, I think, who is pointed towards this area. So I think focus on getting your stuff, and then if we see interesting stuff, then we can go look it out. Look, we can go check it out and stuff, right?
Yeah, I agree. I want to find the blacksmith as well if I can, so I can finally reunite Steve with his special knife.
Well, I kind of do need a knife if I want to cook, you know.
Well, the blacksmiths and the artisans are there, literally right in front of you. It really has led you right up to their doors.
I suppose if the blacksmith pretty close to where we are, I'd say we'd split up, get what we need, and then meet back where we are right now.
That sounds good to me.
So for those that are going into the blacksmith, it's right there, and we'll get back to you in a moment. As the rest of you are looking around, you also notice that there is what appears to be a bubbling cauldron for a sign above a shop next to where Jess and Wesley, Steve are about to head into.
Who's
And
this
then-
Wesley guy?
Sorry. And then opposite where you're heading in, you also see that there is what appears to be a nude art class being taught and painted by several students who are appearing to be quite enthusiastic in their subject that they are drawing. Who is opposite? And then there's also a carpenter. And he's just there sanding away at various bits of wood just outside of his shop.
So Steve's going towards to someone he can talk to and ask where he needs to get his stuff.
What stuff are you looking for?
I'm looking for a spellbook and a arcane focus.
Okay, so you will be heading into the bubbling cauldron. A magic shop that is situated just next to the artisans that Jess is visiting. As for the rest of the party, what are you all doing? Come on. Speak up.
I'd like to look for a weapon of some description.
Okay.
I was going to say Aura will also be going into the blacksmith.
Okay. So, all but one of you, it seems. Unless Chris has other ideas.
Chris will be going into the Artisans Guild to look at will be going anywhere to kind of look at more magic stuff.
Okay, you'll be going with Steve then. Brilliant.
Yes.
Not alone.
So, as you step into the Ironmongers, the three of you are greeted with the heavy clanging from two different directions, although one seems to be a lot gentler in nature than the other. But you find yourself in what appears to be a lobby of some kind with two open doors, one leading into what appears to be a jeweler's workshop of sorts, and the other that seems to be leading towards more weapon crafting in its nature, weapons and armor and that sort of thing. And you're standing there, and after a few moments, the clanging stops. Was that the door I heard? You're looking for me?
Yes. I think we saw you at Elizabeth's shop earlier. She said you're the place to go to buy a dagger.
Well, yes. I have various daggers and sizes and things here. That's not a problem. I can sort something out for you. The question I have is, do you have the gold?
Jess will pull out her wallet.
Mm-hmm.
I have some gold. How much would it cost?
Oh, well, it depends on how many you want and what you want it for.
Self-defense, an attack, something simple. Maybe 2 simple daggers.
Sure, I can. And he reaches across this. He reaches across his workbench, and as he does so, he pulls 2 or 3 different daggers of various styles from the shelf. And he walks out of his workshop and he greets you, and you see this character who is gleaming with sweat at this point, where he's been in front of a forge for quite some time this morning by the seams of it. You'll have to forgive me, lass. It's been a while since we've had actual customers wanting small items like this. But this is what we've got available, and there's 3 here. They're not particularly good quality, but I can guarantee you that they're sharp and they'll do in a pinch. They're just what I keep lying around just in case, that sort of thing. But I can polish them up for you. I can get them in good working order, and I promise you they'll do the job you need. As for the cost, well... And he stands there, and he has got a beard, and he starts stroking it. Tell you what do you think they're worth?
I'm not really from round here, so I it looks like fine craftsmanship, but I would have no idea how to put a value on something like this.
Well, I'm afraid you're thinking about it wrong, my dear. What you shouldn't be putting the value on is the dagger. What you should be putting the value on is what purpose it has. Now, you said to defend yourself with.
Yes, on the way here I was attacked by some giant, my party and I were attacked by some giant wasps.
Oh, those things. No, the ones in the forests here are tiny. They're babies at this time of year. I wouldn't worry too much about them. But I understand your fear. I understand the fear. So, let me tell you now. The value that you put on these daggers is that of your own life.
Interesting.
Well, at the end of the day, you're going to be using them to protect yourself, aren't you?
Oh, well, yes, I would like to think so.
I'll tell you what. Usually, I end up charging my customers for these sorts of things a couple of gold a dagger, 2 gold per dagger. But soon as you're new to town, I'll do you 2 daggers for 2 gold. You're not going to get a better price than that. I can promise you. And considering a lot of my other work at the moment is pre-funded, I'm not really strapped for cash, so you can have them for that price if you wish.
I only have 1 gold and some electrum and silver. And she'll look in her wallet and see what obviously the money that's converted into
As you look in your
whatever the
wallet,
currency is.
or your purse, it isn't converted at this stage. It's just your normal cash.
I might have to come back when I earn some money. I've only got money from where we're from.
Oh, now that's a disappointment. Let's see what your currency looks like where you're from then.
And I will show the dwarf the currency from which would be 2 £20 notes and I believe a £10 note.
Okay.
Oh no, it was one £20 note, 2 £10 notes, 2 £5 notes.
Yep. And are you pulling it out of your wallet?
I'll open the wallet so he can see. So like I'll face the wallet and like I'll pull like one of the £5 notes out as an example of the currency.
Okay. As you pull, who's in the room with you again? Lou's character, Aurora. Excellent.
Chris. No, Chris is not there, sorry.
No, Chris went
Lou and
with
Aurora.
Steve. And Aspen. You all, looking at the £5 note as it's being pulled, you all see a flash of blinding white light almost shimmer around the £5 note as it turns from a £5 note to a silver piece.
Well, that's strange. And I will pull out the rest of the money and see what happens.
You pull out the rest of the cash. The £20 note has a gold shimmer as you pull it out, and it becomes a gold piece. Sorry, the £10 note becomes a silver piece. The
2 £10 notes, 2 £5 notes, and 1 £20 note.
No, because you have 2 gold and 1 silver total.
I've got 2 electrum, 1 gold, 2 silver. We worked it out to be a few sessions ago.
Okay, well, whatever. So you pull it out and you have that available in your hands, but what you all notice is that the money has changed as it's come out of the purse or the wallet, and it's gone from, each one has a distinctive sheen as it changes before your very eyes. And then Brock, looking at this, "Oh, now there be a strange sight indeed. Looks like your currency is the same as ours. Just a little bit shinier."
I guess it is. Yes.
Aurora kind of like peeks over and she's like, "Hey, where did you get the gold?" And she kind of rubs her eyes. "Sorry, some bright light hit my eye, probably the sun, and I didn't actually see where you got it from."
Take out your money.
I don't have my wallet on me.
Later on, take out your wallet. This, I don't know.
Well, look here, lass. From what I can see, for 2 gold you can get 2 daggers. You don't have 2 gold, but you do have the equivalent.
I'll take them. Thank you, sir.
It's not going to leave you with much change, though.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Well, if you want a room, and it needs to be cheap, then you can always try going down to the Swirly Gig. It's a bit of a rough and tumble tavern in just off the port town that opened up recently, but
The Swirly Gig.
yeah, it's let's put it this way. The captain of one of the ships in the ports decided to retire and open up a small tavern for his crew and for the locals that were sailors and that come through every so often. And it's a bit of a rough and tumble, a bit of a dive bar, but they've got rooms normally going for about 2 copper each.
Okay.
But I would keep your possessions close if you do that.
Thank you for the advice. I appreciate it.
That's all right there, lass. But, so are you going to take the daggers?
Yes, I'll take the daggers.
Sold. And he hands you the daggers and holds his palm out, which is huge in comparison to yours. Even though he's smaller, his hand seems to be massive. And you're not quite sure, but you're fairly certain that you can see some thick hair on his arms, but it seems to be covered up with this brace that he purchased earlier. And it seems to have a reddish, rusty hint to it.
Your hands are phenomenal.
Hey, oh, they have.
No. I don't mean it in that way. I mean, I can tell you work hard for your craft. No. I'm not. Sorry, I'm not
Laura
from around
is
here.
laughing so hard. She is once again keeled over, tears streaming, struggling for breath.
What's Aspen doing during all of this?
I've probably cottoned on to what's happened, but I'm trying to distract myself. I'm like pretending to look for a weapon, pretending I'm not listening, but
Jess has just gone bright red because that wasn't her intention. She was just fascinated by like hardworking hands.
I didn't take you for a girl that would flirt like that. Goodness gracious. His hands are phenomenal, are they?
I mean,
Whoa.
and obviously, so Jess is gonna go bright red and be like, I did not mean it in that way. I am so sorry if I offended you. I used to know someone who worked with their hands, and it just reminded me of them.
That's all right. And she just continues laughing and giggling. I realize she's very immature.
I am not that kind of woman at all.
Well, we haven't seen you in 10 years. I wouldn't blame you.
No, I'm not interested in anything like that at all. Oh my goodness.
There's nothing wrong with appreciating it.
How do I put this? I have no attraction to people in that way. And thank you. And Jess is just going to stumble. Thank you for the daggers and hightail it out of there in embarrassment.
Fair enough.
Is going to continue to laugh. but also start looking around. Can I find, like... I don't know. I just want to double check something, actually, before I ask.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm, like, looking at weapons, just looking around, seeing what's available, as it were.
There we go.
In regards to what's available, you see an assortment of various armors mostly. It seems to be very much more focused on armor rather than weapons here. But there are a few swords and things dotted to that. But as you're looking around, you catch a glance over at Brock, who is quietly chuckling away to himself as he watches Jess leave the building and sit by the fountain outside. You interested in my swords? Or are you more interested in the armour?
I'm not one for armor, but I could use a hand axe for self-defense. Raises her eyebrows.
Well, I'll be honest with you. There's only one hand axe in this establishment, and that's mine. But if you want one just over the way, they're more likely to be able to deal with the hand axe for you of standard variety. You see, the hand axe here that I've got is specifically crafted with a few runes added into it for that additional embellishment when it comes to taking out your opponents on the field. I would like to just remind you that this one's probably going to be a bit out your price tag. You're looking at 200 gold pieces.
200 gold? Okay. Question. You're a blacksmith.
No. Well, yes and no. I am a blacksmith, yes. I can craft weapons and stuff like that, but it's... I'm actually an artificer. There's a key difference.
Okay. She's like rubbing her temples and she's like, right, point out the shop where I can get a hand axe. And let's pray to God that they are tradesmen.
Which one?
What do you mean, which one?
Which god?
Jesus? God, the Holy Spirit, our Lord and Savior?
Are you from? Fair enough. I'll have to have a look into a bit of history and see what that Jesus translates to. And he's giving you a weird side eye, as it were.
No. Jesus is our Lord and Savior. He will protect us all, regardless of whether you believe in him or not.
He bursts out.
You've got to know who Jesus is. It's Jesus.
If you think the gods will protect you, you gotta be a chosen champion of the gods here, lass. Seriously, gods. They fucking hate our guts. But if they favour you here, they might listen to you and grant you a few extra boons, as they say. But I promise you, the gods here only care about themselves. Or they care about a common cause if there's something rotten taking over. Now, mark my words, don't go preaching about no Jesus protecting everyone. Because half of them will laugh at you, and the other half will start poking you with sticks because they're part of a cult of some kind. And, never heard of a Jesus. What's he supposed to have done anyway? And what powers can he provide you?
Her once soft face that was smiling is now very harsh and stern. He died for our sins, and I don't appreciate a mockery of it.
What good is a god if he's dead?
He resurrected. After 3
Oh.
days, he came back from dead.
So he's a lich then?
A lich! You're calling Jesus Christ a lich!
Well, at the end of the day, if someone here dies and they get resurrected, they've normally got a receptacle. And that's what keeps them alive and brings them back. And they're known as liches here.
That is, I am done with this place. I am leaving! And he storms out.
Seems like that lady needs a bit of a rude awakening, some might say. And last but not least, who might you be, lass? You seem pretty quiet and observant, looking around the place. What are you after? Anything interesting?
I'm looking for something more like a blunt weapon, like a club or a baton or something along those lines. That vibe, if you have that or if you know where I can get that.
I haven't really got any blunt weapons here, but I tell you what I do have. And he starts rummaging around in the scrap piles and that, and he finds what looks to be a long, we're talking maybe 3.5, 4 feet long metal pole. Essentially, it's just a piece of rough, solid iron. Nothing, no sharp edges other than the couple of cuts that he's done on various ends where he's taken bits off of it and what have you. Don't really have much in the way of blunt weapons, but and he throws it towards you, and he's a strong throw.
Can I try and catch it?
Roll me a dexterity check, please.
Ooh. 9.
You very quickly realise that you're not going to be able to catch this. What are you doing?
I feel like I probably still would have reached for it. You know, when you drop something, you know it's going to hit you in the foot, so you kind of like fumble a little bit. I feel like I'm going to fumble and just like, I don't know, smack my knuckle with it or something, and then it clatters to the floor in front of me. And then I'll pick it up, all embarrassed. Or not embarrassed, I feel like she should just pick it up, like, speedy and be like, yeah, I got that.
Fair enough. What's your armor class?
15.
So you reach out for it to try and catch it. You fumble the catch and it falls to the floor with a loud clang. You might not be so dexterous enough to catch that, but I think that might do you. But that's just a solid piece of iron. probably not going to do you much good. But if you're the type of girl that likes to use a quarterstaff, then I reckon that might suit you if you can lift it.
Great question. Hang on, sorry, I am looking something up. Can I use a quarterstaff? I don't even know if my class can use one. Or is proficient with it, or whatever
You
it
can
is.
carry you can carry simple weapons, so
Simple
yes.
weapons, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, why not? I don't have anything else.
I mean,
Sure, I'll take it.
I mean, there are swords.
it's surprisingly heavy for what it is, but you can lift it, being of the stature that you are. And as you hold it in your hands, you're like, well, it'll work. It doesn't feel very well balanced.
Okay. What? Okay. Question for you, because I'm sure you're a professional. You do this a lot. Looking at me, what would you recommend for me? Say I have the same budget as my friend who just left with daggers. What do you recommend?
Well, I could do you that metal bar of iron for 5 silver.
Will you're strong, right?
Aye. Like to think so.
Okay, so I have a proposal. Would you consider an arm wrestle? And if I win, I get a discount. If I don't win, I'll pay you the 5 silver.
Aye.
Yeah?
I can consider that. But
Okay.
on one condition.
Mm-hmm.
If I win and you're paying that 5 silver, but if I lose, you get it for free. You see, I don't think that's very fair.
I said a discount. I didn't say free.
Now
I
you're
don't expect to walk
talking.
away without paying anything. I don't expect to not pay anything.
Okay,
I'm
discount,
fair.
discount.
I'm fair. Okay.
Let's make it a bit more interesting then.
Okay.
If you win, we'll do it for 3 silver. If I win, price goes
Mhm.
up to 7.
Okay. Sure. Let's do that.
Right. And he points over at one of the stalls opposite. Pull it up. And he sits down opposite on this table in this lobby area. And it is just metal grill that is over what appears to be a very cold and unused fire pit for forging stuff. It's not hot. It's been off, and he rarely ever seems to turn this one on. But he pulls up a stool of his own, sits opposite, and puts his arm on the table. Well, you know the rules then. No lifting of the elbow. Keep your arms straight. No silly distractions. And yes, I am talking about them puppies.
Sorry. Puppies.
Don't worry. Just a joke.
Mhm. Okay. Let's do this.
Are you ready?
Hell
So
yeah.
this is how we're going to play it. You're going to roll a d20 and you are going to add your strength modifier to it.
Cool.
We're going to have a strength check. Please.
Ooh, that is cocked. I'm re-rolling. Or would you want me to roll a digital one, or are you happy for me to roll a physical one?
I'm happy for you to roll physical.
Okay. What is that? Okay.
Just bear with me whilst I pull up a certain character sheet that I hope is still available for me to read. Yes, it is. Thank you. Oh dear. Right. So, here we go. Yes. Okay. Oh. Right.
You realized, didn't you?
Yep.
You stayed quiet this whole time.
So, best of 3.
Strong.
Okay.
What was your first roll?
It was a 9 plus 6, so 15.
You start to push his arm towards the table with relative ease, it seems. Not bad, you're quite strong lass there. I'll give you that. But you might want to calm down a little bit. Make your second roll.
Calm down. Absolutely not. Okay.
What do you get?
So that would be a nat 1.
And I just rolled a nat 20, which is going to count as 2 wins. So he starts pushing back on your arm.
Damn
And
it.
you just watch as it shoots through the upright position to a similar position that you had his previously. Let's roll again.
Because he told me to calm down. He stressed me out. I'm angry.
You're angry, are you? Oh. Not quite
I
there
mean,
yet.
makes sense.
Not quite there yet, though. Come on. What did you roll?
19 plus 6, 25.
You push his arm back again, and you seem to be getting the better of him in this one, without a doubt. And you push it just a little bit further, but he manages to halt just before it gets about halfway. Now, I said best of 3. You've won 2 of these rounds. You haven't quite managed to put him down because of that one single nat 20. And he's looking at you. I can tell you got quite a strong arm there. Go on, lass. Give it a final push if you can. And I tell you what, if you manage to get my arm down, you've already won. So you got it for 3 silver. But if you can push my arm all the way down, I'll knock another one off. How's that?
Ooh, you are absolutely on. Oh,
What did you roll?
that would be a nat 20.
You slam his arm and hand into the table. He only rolled a 14 on that one. You slam his arm into the table, and he gives you a wink as you do so. You got some good muscle there. It'd be a shame not to have a good weapon in that grip of yours. 2 silver. That's fine by me. It's only a bit of scrap anyway.
Fine by me. 2 silver.
And
I'll give him 2 silver.
as you pull out your, is it a purse or a wallet you carry?
I feel like it's probably just loose in one of her pockets.
Right.
Makes sense for the barbarian.
It's just
Yeah.
folded up, like not neatly or anything. It's like crumpled up somehow, even though we obviously have plastic notes and stuff. They're a mess.
Yeah. As you pull it out your pocket, you look at it, and it just stays exactly as it is. Doesn't change. It doesn't morph. It doesn't do anything. It's just a couple of £5 notes. I can't accept paper, lass.
Okay.
What's this comment on the top here? What does that read? I promise to pay the bearer the sum of £5?
Yeah, that's the money that we use.
£5 of what?
It's just what we measure our money in. It's not a weight of anything.
Oh. Weird. You
I do have
You
I have
value
some-
paper over coin?
well, I do have some coins if you would prefer coins.
Let's have a look at what you got there then.
I can't exactly remember what the money denominations were, but I'd given myself 1 gold, 1 electrum, 2 silver, and 10 copper. I can't remember what that was in our money.
10 copper would be the equivalent of £10 coins.
Okay, I'm gonna scatter some pound coins just like on, or put some pound coins in my palm. I'm just gonna grab some. I don't know how many, like 5 or something, and just hold them out.
He looks at them and he takes one and he picks it up and he's like, never seen anything like this. You've managed to perfectly mix several different metals into one tiny thing.
Cool, right?
And he pulls out a magnifying glass and he attaches it to what appears to be like almost like a metallic ridge piercing that's just below his eyebrows. And he starts looking at it and he mutters something under his breath, and it sounds like sounds almost like a chant, but it isn't. It's too subtle for that. And as he does so, he waves. He essentially waves his fingers in a short pattern, forming a rune that appears in a small bluish tint as he draws it, and then puts it down on the coin. And as he's looking at it, he suddenly is taken aback. This is made of. There's traces of gold, there's traces of silver, there's tin, there's copper underneath, there's a weird metallic mix of something. It's like an alloy of something or other. I can't work it out. And this is a masterpiece of artwork on it as well. And he's looking at the head that's on the coin. Who's this fella? Who's that meant to be?
He's the king from where we come from.
Ah. So every single coin that you have out there that's struck is struck with his head on it?
There are some with the queen on, but she died, so now we have a king, and now they're like replacing the money. But I think like all the coins and stuff that are still in circulation will still have her head on. But yeah, pretty much.
That's a very interesting concept. And you know what? Actually, that's quite clever. Might stop some of this shaved coins that we've got going around at the moment. Might stop some of that. Do you know what? You've given me a damn good idea. And I think I'll make a proposal so that we can try and get to the bottom of this shaved coin issue that we have running around the town at the moment. Anyway, looking at this and looking at the value of this, I'd say it's the equivalent of a few copper pieces each. Let's say 5 copper pieces. If you can give me 2 of these coins, that'll be 1 silver. But it'll give me enough material that I'll be able to look at the design and maybe do think about our problems that we have in town. Yeah. Would that be okay?
Yeah, of course. Go for it. You want 5 of these, yeah?
If you're willing to part with 5 of them, I'd be more than happy to do a couple of experiments on a couple of them. Smelt it
Go
down
for
and
it.
see what comes out. Awesome.
Take 5 of them.
And he takes 5, which, reality, if it'd been pulled from a wallet, would have been the equivalent of 5 copper pieces.
Sick.
But to him, this looks like a gold mine.
Cool.
Happy to do business with you. And he jingles the coins. They're quite weighty as well, aren't they? I like that.
Mm.
Hang on. And he flips one of them into his other hand and puts the other 3 of them down. And he's weighing them. They're both exactly the same weight as well. Now that is clever. That is really clever. Huh. You're giving me something to ponder. Have a good day, lass.
Yeah, you too. And I will head out and find the others.
As you head out and just before the door closes, he looks up at the door and just mutters, and you hear it nice and loud and clear. This can make me a small fortune. As you close the door. So, Chris and Steve,
Yeah.
you enter what can only be the most obvious of magical potion shops that you have ever seen. It has a bubbling cauldron for a sign with a witch on a broomstick pretty much over the doorway. And the door, as you knock, opens. Well, don't just stand there. Come on in. You hear a voice coming from the far side of the potion shop.
Hi there.
Hello. Ooh, what do we have here? Newcomers?
You could say that, yes.
Welcome.
Wait, no. Yes, we are.
Welcome to Ironstead, and welcome to my humble guild shop.
Why, thank you.
I'm not really quite sure what you're after, but if there is one thing that I can safely say, I am not a psychic or a magician or anything like that. I simply brew potions for the most part. But I have a few other oddities here and there lying around. Mostly I teach classes on making healing potions for the guards and things, but what brings you to my shop in particular?
I kind of figured out I have magic potential, but my spells keep being randomized, or I can't really focus on that. So maybe there's something you could help me with?
Well, you say you have trouble with your magic. You're
Yeah.
losing your touch, as it were. Or would I be right in
Well,
saying more finding your touch?
yeah, finding my touch would be the most accurate.
Ah. So perhaps a potion of concentration might assist.
What now?
A potion of concentration. It's a
And
small concoction of various mixes of herbs and a very fine blend that, when drunk, will actually improve your concentration on whatever it is that you're trying to focus on as you attempt to cast your magic. I've heard a few people refer to it as, well, that's going to give me a +1 when I try later. Although, I think that's just the common slang of the day at the moment. Hey, you got that concentration +1? You know, that +1 potion, that sort of thing. Maybe that's not your cup of tea then. No, I can tell from your face that's not your cup of tea.
I'm looking for I'm looking for a bit more of a permanent solution. Like maybe some kind of item or something I can channel my magic through? Like, I don't know.
Oh, well, it's rare that I brew a potion of this caliber. But I do have one that could be of assistance, a potion of eternal thinking.
What does that do?
It, for about 4 hours, it will essentially offer you a pathway to enlightenment within oneself by putting you into a meditative trance-like state where you'd be forced to review and assess yourself, look at you as a individual to perhaps maybe find out why you're struggling so hard with what you're trying to achieve.
I see. Are there any side effects?
Oh, some people have been under for about 6 hours. That's the longest I've ever heard, but the main side effects is a feeling afterwards of a light feeling in their head and body after they've come out from the trance-like state, where they feel like they have shed a lot of weight off of their shoulders. That's the most common side effect I hear. No one's ever walked out of
There,
here not smiling.
there's one more thing. I'm not actually from this world, and I don't have really the currency to pay for all this.
Oh,
Like I've got money from my own world, but that's about it.
She quickly looks you up and down. Huh. Huh. So you're the travellers that the tailor brought to town.
Yeah.
Right. I see. Well, and as you see, she almost stock still. And it gives you a moment to actually look around. And you see various shelves and bookcases filled with different books and remedies and potions and scrolls, bottles filled with various colours of liquids ranging from dark purples all the way through to light blues with a few reds and greens dotted here and there throughout. There's a couple of yellow ones that sort of shine a bit brighter than others. There's a few that seem to have specks of glitter almost like mixed into it. But the one thing that does take your attention is on the table at the far end of the room, a very, very ornate checkered board with what appears to be beautifully carved chess pieces.
Wow. This looks amazing.
Except there's a slight difference. You notice there are 3 rows of chess pieces instead of 2.
I've got a question.
Yes, dear.
Why are there 3 rows of chess pieces instead of 2?
Chess? Oh! You're talking of this wonderful board game, Dragon Ante, it's known as. Yes, it is a beautiful game of strategy, whereby the idea is to indeed capture the opponent's pieces and ultimately their dragon. As for the 3 rows, not sure where you're from, but 3 rows, the first row are your kobolds, the second row are your adventurers, as it were, and the third row, the back row, are your champions.
That's fascinating. I've never really seen such a fascinating or puzzling game, really.
Huh. Well, perhaps if you have time, I could teach you.
I think I've got some time. I look at who's with me again?
Me.
I look
Chris.
at Chris and like, do we have time?
I'm not playing the nerd game.
Yeah, we definitely have time, including my friend here.
Well, I'm glad you do, but unfortunately today I don't.
Hmm.
However, if you wish, perhaps one weekend we can sit, teach, and play a few games.
I would definitely like to learn this game.
Wonderful. I look forward to your custom. Now, back to the potions and whatever it is that you're looking for. You're looking for something to help you focus, yes?
Yes.
And what are you looking for, sir?
Well, I think you would know the best, but
Zip.
well,
What are you looking for, sir?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I was just kind of tagging along.
Huh.
I don't know. Like,
What do you do?
what do? I don't really know. I haven't really done much, since we got here. I don't really know. Haven't tested anything out.
Huh.
You know, don't. As much as you need to stop and keep quiet, that would come from another bloody world. Yeah, just zip about that. Maybe to strangers that we don't know. Yeah. Okay. Because you know we come from a place where magic and stuff it doesn't exist.
Ah.
So
I see. That's why you've discovered that you have at least one magical ability, and you want some assistance discovering if you have any more innate ability, correct?
I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if I can do anything.
Oh, but I assure you, it doesn't take much to learn. As for yourself, and she looks back at you, Steve, what is it that you discovered you can do?
well, as of now, I can comfortably cast one spell.
And that is
That's,
what
I
does
think
it
it's,
do?
well, it creates a shard of ice in my hand. I throw it, and when I hit someone, it explodes, I think.
Well, that to me sounds like a popular spell that a lot of wizards have to actually study and learn. I'm afraid I might not be of much use to you, but. And she pulls a scroll off the shelf and hands it to you. Let's see if you can understand this. And she hands you a scroll which has a blue ribbon wrapped around it.
Steve grabs the scroll and opens it.
As you open it, you see symbols, imagery on the page, almost like it's dancing around. At first, it doesn't seem to make any sense, but then it puts itself into a pattern, a shape, a geometric shape of sorts. And as you're looking at the scroll, I want you to roll me a wisdom saving throw. Wisdom check. Sorry.
All right. Why wisdom?
Just because it's a wisdom check.
That's a 21.
It takes a moment, but your brain begins to interpret the order and what this scroll is. Like the order of the lettering and the words and the runes and symbols on the page. They fall into place very quickly for you. Now roll me an intelligence check. This is your
Alright.
spellcasting modifier, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. My modifier is a +4.
Your intelligence modifier is a +6 for your
Alright.
spells.
That's for my spell attack, yes.
Yes.
Right. That's a 15.
On a 15, your brain clicks. Something in your brain clicks. And it appears for a moment on the page. Everything perfectly aligns in an image of a shield. And with a moment of clarity, before you even realize what you are doing, you start uttering a few words. Slightly strange, but you understand it. And as you utter those words, you find your left hand is forming the shape of the shield in a pattern subconsciously. And before you know it, there is a shimmer that appears around you and seems to hug you quite tightly.
Wait. So, Chris, you are seeing what I'm doing right now, aren't you? It's just not my imagination?
No, I'm seeing it.
Indeed you are. And it's quite a sight to behold. But you can now successfully cast your shield spell whenever you wish.
Wait, so this is a shield spell?
It's, yes. That is exactly what this shield, what this scroll is. It's a layer of protection that you can cast relatively quickly, I should imagine. Basically, if something was to attack you and it hit, you could cast this and it would deflect some of that damage, as it were, potentially. Could be a useful thing in your naive young state of mind with magic. But I think you would be better off heading to the library rather than here, good sir.
Yeah, I would just send here.
Well, it's understandable that you were sent here because I am one of the most renowned potion brewers, and my potions can often unlock things in people.
Guys, I'm gonna be right back. there's a bug that I need to deal with, and it's freaking me out.
Oh, I'm so sorry, dear, but when you take the bug outside, do be careful. Don't harm the poor critter. Please. As for you, what's your name, good sir?
My name's Steve.
Steve, it's a pleasure to meet you. And a young budding wizard such as yourself has a lot to learn from a rather large number of books, I imagine.
Yeah, I almost forgot. That's also what I'm looking for, something I can maybe write down my spells so I can, maybe prepare or read them.
Ah, so it would be parchment and ink and a quill of some kind that you'd be after, yes?
Yes.
Very well. And she walks to the back of the shop, and as she does so, she opens one of the many cabinets that are here. And you, for the first time, you actually notice that she's wearing some very flowing, very free clothing, as it were, long, loose, almost as though it's the sort of gown that one would wear to a wedding or a thing, but it's it's not as fancy as that. But it's free and it's flowing, and it's quite light in its colour. It's like a light pastely blue, as it were. And as she kneels down, she pulls out some paper, some parchment, and a bottle of ink and a pen. And she puts it on the table. Well, we have got some here if you wish. I don't really have much use for it anymore. So, say a gold piece, and you can have the lot.
So this ink would allow me to write down my spells, and I would be able to read from it and maybe cast it?
Exactly that, yes.
As I mentioned, I've only got currency from my own world. Would you want to maybe check it out?
Yes, let's have a look.
Yeah, Steve, from his new tunic and jeans, or what, or sewn a pair of pants.
Yep.
Yeah, grabs his wallet and just pulls out a bunch of coins.
As you
No paper.
As you pull out the coins from your wallet, you see a copper sheen ride across every single bit of shrapnel that you pull out. And every single piece turns into a copper piece each. Regardless of whether it was a pound coin or a £2 coin or a 50p piece, you now have a handful of copper.
So apparently I've got this copper, I believe.
Huh. Well, that's part of the way there. Have you got any more of that copper in your wallet?
Steve checks for his wallet.
I'm back, by the way.
Oh, good. Did you manage to clear the bug outs that was bothering you?
Yeah, just outside now.
Okay. No, You didn't harm it, did you, dear?
No.
Wonderful. You see, I have an affinity with a few of the spiders in this establishment, so I do apologise if they were bugging you. But I'm glad you left it unharmed. I would perhaps like to inquire with you in a moment. However, this gentleman seems to have a coin deficiency.
Cool.
We
I'm
out of
They're
character,
also
we got
immediately
like
going to check where their wallet is, by the way, at that mention.
out of character. We got like 50 pounds, I believe.
Yes. Total
Yeah.
of 2 gold and 1 silver.
Yeah,
However you wish to break that down.
Yeah. Steve grabs his 50 pounds. I've got this.
As you pull it out, the £20 note becomes a shiny gold piece. £10 notes become shiny electrum pieces. And £5 notes become shiny silver pieces. I think that's the right way round. And then any coins will become copper pieces.
Yeah.
Well, you certainly have a gold piece there. Now.
Well, since it costed a gold piece, I will hand it to you then.
And she shuffles the copper pieces back, takes the gold piece, and pushes the parchment, the ink pot with ink in it, and a quill over to you.
Yeah, Steve takes it and tries to securely put the ink somewhere where it wouldn't spill.
You managed to find a place somewhere.
Oh, that doesn't spill.
No, it shouldn't spill. The stopper on that is, you see, there's this little thing that we have called a catch on these pots. And as you can see, you have to tilt the bottle lid slightly in order to then lift it out. And it's been designed that way for better part of 30 years now, so that ink doesn't spill in your bag as you're traveling. These adventurers have come up with some ingenious ways of stopping liquids from ruining their camping gears. So, especially the wizards.
Yeah, I can tell.
But it is a beautiful and decorative, almost crystal decanter.
Well,
Just filled with about maybe 10 pages worth of ink.
well, I guess I'm gonna be making my own spellbook then, I guess.
Isn't that what most wizards do?
I guess it is. I'm not sure.
Well, this is why I would advise you travel to the library, good sir.
Yeah.
As
Could
for...
you maybe... Oh,
yes?
Could you maybe write that down on my...
On your map?
Yeah. Elizabeth drew me a map of... Considering, well...
I see.
We're not from around here.
She dips her quill her own quill into a pot of ink, and she starts mapping out roughly where the library is for you. And as she's doing this, she's not really paying much attention.
Oh wow.
But she is quite skillfully drawing regardless. As she looks over at Chris. So, Chris,
Yeah.
from that display there, you seem to have an affinity with nature, as it were.
Not bugs. I don't like bugs.
Well, you don't like bugs. So it seems.
Other animals are cool. I mean, I worked on a farm since I was like 14, so
I thought bugs were a natural part of farming these days anyway.
I mean they are, but I don't like them.
Ah, I see. You worried they're going to ruin your crop.
Not even that. I wasn't a crop farmer. We were.
Livestock?
It was livestock. I milk cows
You
and I
milk
shore sheep.
you milk cows and shore
Shear sheep.
sheep.
Yeah.
Huh.
I looked after any of the small ones if they were like sick and stuff.
Right. I don't have much, but I do have one thing that might be able to help you. Let's see now. And she starts rummaging through various bottles of potions that she has, and she pulls one out from the back of the cabinets. She gives a blow on it and dusts off some dust. Yes. Let's see. Now, this is not a potion per se, but a small drop of this on your tongue will, let's just say, it will show if you have an affinity with nature or not.
Right.
Absolutely free, no charge. And I promise you it won't poison you.
They
fact,
just narrow
it is-
their eyes a bit.
In fact, it is completely herbal.
You're selling me.
I'm not selling you anything, darling. Oh, dear. And she pulls out what appears to be a small pipette and pulls a drop into it from this bottle. Now, stick your tongue out. Let's see.
No poison. I don't know you. Is this stranger danger? And they're looking at Steve.
I believe she can be trusted.
They just look at them and they're just like,
Honestly, dear.
okay. Honestly, I'm down for whatever freaky side effects has happened. Whatever. Yeah. Up. And they just open their mouth.
Let me just preface this with saying that I haven't remained in business for over 30 years by poisoning my clients. Hopefully that'll put you a little more at ease.
Chris would just shrug and open their mouth.
She drips a drop from the stripper onto your tongue, and it is extremely bitter to the taste. Like, have you ever had valerian before?
No. I really don't like bitter things.
Well, it's very, very bitter. So it does make you want to retch slightly. But as you get that feeling of retching from your stomach, I want you to roll me 2 dice rolls. First is going to be the Constitution save.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. You don't retch at all. And in fact, as you begin to feel that, instead the motion and the action and that feeling that comes up instead is replaced with something else. What I would like you to do is roll yourself. You're a druid, I believe. Your spellcasting modifier is a +5. I would like you to roll me a wisdom check.
A wisdom check.
Yes.
But is that +5 instead of +3?
It would be a +5, so that would be a total of 12.
Yeah.
You find that instead of retching, that a small gust, as it were, of wind begins to swirl. And it's difficult for you to control at this point. It's just a small blast of air, as it were. But you find yourself muttering something that you don't quite understand under your breath, but it seems to come a bit more naturally. And can you roll me an no more than £5. An object is pushed up to 10 feet away. If you push it, force cause damage. Can you roll me a roll for your gust, essentially?
Didn't mean to press.
No, that's fine. It's DC 13, isn't it? Okay. D20. And it's just going to be a flat roll. Ooh. This gust is strong enough that it starts to knock over the table with the dragon anti-chess set on it. And you see the pieces start to move away and move across the board as you feel this rush of air being pushed in that direction across the shop. Oh my! It does seem that you have a natural ability and affinity for magic, but that one seemed a bit forced and uncontrolled, however. Perhaps.
Sorry, I messed up your chest.
No, don't worry. I've had a lot worse in the past. Trust me, when you have someone come into your shop and they're not knowing what they are or what they're doing, and you give them a drop of this and they suddenly start sprouting vines all over the place, trapping you, and they can't control it, that's when the problems arise. No, it's just a gust of wind, nothing I can't replace or put back in place. You're fine. But I would perhaps spend some time communing with nature when you get the chance. It might enlighten you a little.
Chris's eyebrows just kind of furrow a little bit.
Now, don't look at me like that. I am merely pointing out what your strengths are, but it is up to you to learn them.
Oh, okay.
Well, in my opinion, I think we should harness this gift or whatever it is we can do
Yes.
and try to, make it our own.
Yes, that's always a good idea. Now, and as she says that, she stops as the door opens. It got a message from some people sitting outside here waiting. One of the guards has turned up. Wondering how long you're going to be.
I don't think it's gonna be long. I don't know.
Fair enough. It's all
Just
right.
let them know. Just let them know we'll be there as soon.
Fair enough. And the guard closes the door behind him. It won't be
Thank
long now,
you.
gals. Now, is there anything else I can do you for? And the guard is actively looking at Jess and Aura at this point.
No, I think we're fine. Thank you.
Good. Well,
Aura is fuming and pacing and like tapping her foot. Her arms are crossed. She is not a happy camper.
calm down. What's gone? What? Tell me what's wrong.
Apparently, I'm not supposed to say it, otherwise people in a cult will come find me.
I wouldn't worry too much about that. It's just the way Brock is. He likes to pull your chain when he knows he's got a way in on occasions. I wouldn't worry too much. He's done it to me many a time. Do you know how many times I've had to go out and repolish my armor because he's pointed out a blemish in it? And it gets me every time. So, you're not the only one he's done that to. Trust me.
I think it's a bad move. You make enemies of people that way. I do not like him. He was very rude.
Look, he probably didn't mean it, but he's one of the... he's a rather old school artificer, and he's not one of God, shall we say. He's more follow the runes and bless your weapons. He never means anyone any harm, but he can be a bit rough around the edges, especially to newcomers. Take no heed of him. Seriously, take no heed of him. He was pulling your chain, he found a way in, and by the looks of it, he got to you. He's going to be smiling for the rest of the day. But not because he put you in your place, but because he managed to wind you up. And you're a newbie. At least to this town. Don't worry yourself.
Dislike this Ren Fair LARP thing. Would much rather be going home.
Forgive my friend, she's just very religious.
Well,
And
perhaps it could be of use going to the chapel. It's,
Oh, right. The chapels must know about Jesus. That only makes sense. Or maybe it's like a chapel for like another religion, but they'll still know about Jesus.
maybe they do, maybe they don't. But, whatever the case is, perhaps there'll be a God that'll answer your prayers whilst you're there.
where is this chapel?
Well, literally just around the corner at the back of the Artisans Guild here. It's next to the butcher's. By the way, if you ever want a bacon sandwich, that's the place to go.
Bacon?
Hey, sausage, bacon, stick it in between a bit of fresh bread. You know.
That does sound very, very appealing right now.
They've normally got fresh hog and wild boar in the window too. Fresh caught the night before.
Oh, I
It's
will
really appealing
stick
right
with
now.
the. I'll stick with the bacon. Aura, would you like me to accompany you to the chapel?
I think that would be quite nice. Maybe we could pass by and get a roll.
Let's head that way. I'm sure they will. I'll just run in and let Chris and Steve know where we're heading. And if they want to come with us, they can find us afterwards. So Jess is gonna just pop in and find Steve and Chris and fill them in that we'll be heading to the chapel and they can meet us there.
Very
Yeah,
well.
sure.
As you walk around to the chapel, you notice the large doors right around the corner, as was previously spoken about, and you find yourself entering, and you see 4 large stone pillars holding up what appears to be the rafters of this place, made of marble. Walls are seemingly a polished, chiseled stone that it just looks worn but beautiful. You see a small stand with a bowl in it that appears to have a few coins scattered in there. And you see 4 wooden pews in front of what appears to be the altar within this chapel. The place is empty. There's no one here at this time. But as you walk in, it is serenely peaceful inside. And for a moment, for what is probably the first time since you've been here, your head feels clearer. Clear of confusion of what's going on.
Aura takes a deep breath, kind of just like, and like sighs the chapel air out. Her like shoulders physically like relaxing.
You go ahead. I'm gonna hang back here and wait for you. And Jess will kind of wait right at the very back for Aura to do what she needs to do. As Jess isn't really religious, but she understands that her friend needs that comfort.
Uh-huh.
Is there any like statue or pictured disciple of sorts?
There's
Or
a
like
couple. There's a few, but none of them appear in any way, shape, or form that would look like it was Jesus on a cross.
she will try and find a spot furthest away from all of the pictured religious idols and kneel and start praying to Jesus in hopes that someone replies to her. This girl's so lost.
Yeah.
I have never made such a religious character before as a really non-religious person.
That makes it even more fun, to be fair.
I'm struggling.
So, I'm going to ask your character a couple of questions.
In
If
character or out of character?
out of character, but this is asking your character a couple of questions, essentially.
Right, okay.
So, as you're sitting there praying to Jesus, first question I have is what words are you uttering as you speak?
She would probably be like praying a prayer of protection. Like, I don't know any prayers of protection, but I can imagine like, please, dear Lord Jesus, protect me, protect my friends, protect us from the sin in the world, blah blah blah. That type of, but like a pre-written, like a known prayer, like one she goes to often. She's not just kind of talking. It's like a scripted thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Fair enough. So, as you pray and speak of requesting protection for yourself and for your friends, you get a breeze that flows past you, behind you. There's nothing there.
She doubles down, heads lower, praying faster. to her, that's a sign the Holy Spirit's there. So she's like, someone's here, they're listening to me, gotta make this quick. I apologize to any Christians that I'm offending in this. This is how I would truly practice if I were Christian.
You hear a voice.
That's not supposed to happen.
Soft. Female. Gentle.
Oh no. Oh no.
With an aura of peace and nature
Oh no.
flowing from it. There's
Forrest.
there's a symbol on the wall in front of you, which looks like a waterfall that's plunging into a still pool of water. And the feeling that you get as it speaks is like what could only be felt at an oasis of serenity. Pacifistic in nature, where waters are blessed with like the power of healing, that type of thing. There's a blanket, as it were, that feels like it starts to hug you as your eyes are closed. And you feel protected in this. and at peace.
As I might have to switch class. I might become a cleric.
No. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? We'll see where it goes. I am so glad to have you here.
Mary?
I have been called many names, but Mary is not one of them.
That surprises me. Not Mary. Got it? This is the first time something's talked to me. I've gotta say, does not normally come with an answer. At least not this directly.
Why would
Hello.
why would a god you pray to not answer you? That is very confusing.
Amount of feelings right now.
The feelings remain, but the voice disappears.
Stays there for a while, still in this keeling position, her hands clasped. And she slowly stands up before she turns to look at her friend that has been waiting at the end of the chapel. She kind of like, did you?
As you
see anything?
turn
Oh god.
to face your friend,
Okay.
you see another symbol on the wall light up. A pair of eyes surrounded by 7 stars. You feel slightly dizzy and sit down on one of the pews. Oh, I'm so sorry I have that effect on people. I do not mean that in any bad way.
You're quite alright. I'm just clearly dehydrated.
Well, knowledge and life is a domain that requires water. Water is a domain that requires the pull of the moon.
So maybe I need. Okay.
I apologize if I caused that slight feeling for you. You're hearing the voices, but you're not seeing them.
Kind of has like her head in her arm, and she's like rubbing her temples as she's replying.
Jess sees this and she approaches Aura and sits next to her quietly. Just so Aura knows she's there in case she needs to talk.
No, I am not the right one to be praying to here. Blessings be upon you. And she withdraws, and the symbol goes dim once more.
Aura's like her face shoots up, and she kind of like shouts out, like she's like, "Wait!" And she like looks at the symbol, and then she kind of starts like glancing at the other symbols in hopes that something else will glow. This is the first time any deity has spoken to her. She's in awe. She doesn't know what to do or how to react or what is going on, but she knows that she does not want to be alone with that feeling.
Do you want to talk about it?
She slowly turns her head. Did you hear it?
No? Hear what? You looked really distressed. I was worried about you.
Something was here. Something replied to me.
Yeah, in times of stress, people, they pray and they can believe that the deity has replied to them.
When religion meets psychology.
Take it as a source of comfort.
No, that's not supposed to happen. I'm not supposed to get a reply. I'm supposed to have a sign or something abstract happen in my life. Or I can be like,
As you
yes.
say, I'm supposed to have a sign or something abstract in my life, you look up at the altar in front of you, and you see when you came in there was a couple of sheafs of grain and rows seated across it. And you're looking at this briefly, gently being reminded of your farm. Suddenly the sheaf of grain begins to grow. You're seeing this. Jess isn't. And then it stops and goes back to being a single sheaf of grain once more. And then you hear it. A female voice, but sounding like that of someone who's had and done hard work. Not too dissimilar from the sound of farmers from back home. Well, how are you, my friend? I see you're confused. As she says this, you feel a wash of fresh air, that fresh farm smell. Like when you walk through the wheat fields, or you've got that scent that's flowing through the air as this is being said. I think I've found someone who appreciates nature, but at the same time is hardworking. And a farmer themselves, not much unlike what I once was.
You're not the same person I was talking to. This is a different person. God, deity, I don't know.
Indeed, I am a different deity.
Okay.
Some may know me as Shantae.
Shantae?
Yes. For the record, that is Chauntea.
Give me 2 seconds. Let me write that again. So that's CHAUNT
AUNTEA.
Shantae.
Yes.
Ooh, okay. Hello, Shantae. I am Aurora Rose.
Yes, you are indeed Aura Rose from a different world.
What? No. Okay.
You are indeed a farmer, are you not?
I'm a cow.
Yes.
And my dogs.
Livestock. Everyone's got to eat. I'm not going to deny you that. I prefer agriculture. Plants. But yes, I do appreciate it. One can't live without the other is needed for one to live. So, but you are confused. Tell me, if you had a question that you wanted answering, what would it be?
Why are you replying when, for 30 years of my life, no one else did?
Because for 30 years of your life on another world, your gods have stopped caring. At least that's what it appears. After all, I travel from world to world. I've seen various things, and you know, once I was upon your world, many, 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 many centuries ago. But as all good things come to an end, people stop believing, and gods move on, bestowing their graces upon others that are more inclined to worship. Who was it you're looking for? And might I say, your friend. She's very analytical. She doesn't believe, does she?
No. No, she does not believe.
Okay. We'll have some fun on the way out then. Who says we don't have a sense of humour?
I wish her no harm.
Oh, don't worry, I won't hurt her. Just give her a little poke in the back. Tap on the shoulder type thing.
Right. What do I refer to you as?
You can call me God, Goddess. You could call me Shantae. I reside over agriculture here in the lands that you are currently travelling upon.
How far away is my home?
There's a deep breath as your vision is almost taken away from you and snapped what appears to be across a vast distance. Shades of purple and visual colours and all sorts of. If you weren't in a place of peace at this moment, you would have thought you were tripping on acid. But you're not. You're sober. you're seeing everything as you're traveling vast distances across a dark space that is empty for what seems like an eternity, until in the distance a small blue spot appears in your vision. As you get closer, it gets bigger. As you begin to arrive towards it, you realize that is Earth and the sphere that it is. As you get in even closer, you begin to see the clouds forming in the atmosphere beneath you. And as you are pulled in even further, you begin to see the shapes of the continents below. Eventually, you see the outline of the UK, England, and as you go in even further, you begin to see the Lake District. And as you're looking down upon the Lake District, you see a row of police officers searching the Lake District with dogs on leads, sniffer dogs, all in a perfect line, combing the Lake District and the valleys. You see a small lake. Well, you see the lake. You see divers preparing to go into the water. And you hear a shout. It's been 28 days. This is the last time. After this, we call off the search. We look elsewhere. Find some clues. And then you're snapped and brought back to the chapel.
It's a sudden deep breath. Like, you know, like when you've forgotten to breathe for a
Yes.
second too long, and then you kind of like... and she's blinking rapidly, and she's disorientated, and she's grabbing onto the seat. She's grabbing onto her friend. She's...
Whoa! Are you okay? Well, what happened?
28 days? We've been gone for 28 days.
We what? How?
My
How
family,
do you?
my father's gonna die. My father's old. And my mother, what are they gonna think? They're gonna think that I'm gone. They're gonna think that I've been kidnapped or taken. Or I'm dead.
You hear a calm shh. Don't worry, they will be looked after. And then it vanishes. The voice is gone.
Come on, let's go. Let's go and get some air. Yeah, and maybe some food. We haven't eaten today.
Her jaw is slightly slacked, and her eyes are glazed over, and she's not blinking, and she just is sitting there. If she was like pulled up and like was ushered out, she wouldn't fight it, but she's not like moving by herself. She's in shock.
Jess, we'll try and pick her up. Come on, let's get you some water, okay?
She will go willingly. Like there's like she doesn't have to be like picked up, but it's kind of like she has to be guided.
Jess will take her arm, Aura's arm, and kind of lead her out gently. Let's get some water. Let's get some food in you, and we'll find somewhere to sit and meet up with the others.
Right before they leave the chapel, she says, "They might play a trick on you. They like to have fun."
Who's they?
As you begin to leave, and as you say, who's they? Before you, at the door, you see it's almost like a face of a red-headed woman appear before your eyes. Reach out, tap you on the shoulder, Jess, give you a wink, and then disappears.
Huh. Okay. Let's get that water and some food.
She nods, and right as she leaves the chapel, she doesn't look back, but she does wave behind her.
As you leave the chapel, and rejoin your friends. That is where we're going to leave tonight's session. Thank you everyone for listening and watching. We hope you've had a wonderful night as our players get to grips with their experience and the reality that is this strange new world of Albion that they find themselves in. Next week, we have a fireside chat where I will be asking a couple of people to turn up. Keep it a surprise until we announce it next week, though. For now, we bid you all a good night, and we look forward to seeing you next time on Dice and Destiny. Bye!
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.